Hello, internet friends. Friends. Hi. For those who don't know, I've started doing a thing where at the end of the month, I talk about stuff I liked this month. That's it. I'm just telling you stuff I really enjoyed in case you would also enjoy it. That's my pitch. So, this month, I have some things to recommend. Yep, that was the whole premise of the vlog, wasn't it? Here we go. So the first thing I have to recommend this month is a limited series on HBO called Years and Years. It's scary. I don't do horror, nor is that the genre that this is. It's a very, very good, very smart look at sort of like what might happen in our world, and it feels terrifying because it feels so possible and things go very, very badly. It takes place in England. It is an English show, and Emma Thompson's in it. It's really good, but it's also kind of nightmare inducing. So I have to put out that caveat. Maybe not as nightmare inducing as like the trailer for Cats, for instance, but I still found that I kind of both wanted to take it in small pieces and also just get it over with so I could stop feeling that way. And yet I really thought it was so well done and so compelling that I'm still inclined to recommend it. But if you would like something much less serious, much less related to reality at all, the season 3 of Glow came out on Netflix. And for those who have not been watching Glow, get on it. Lady wrestlers in the 80s? Hi, it's fun. It's very fun. And it deals with some like real issues, but it's also just lady wrestlers in the 80s. It's silly. And if you haven't watched the show at all, I do remember taking me a little bit of time to get into season 1, so I would give it a fair shake if it's not immediately for you. They're just really awesome ladies, and they did some really cool stuff with the characters in season 3, taking them in different directions. That was very enjoyable. And the thing that I watched this month that I was the most excited about, even though there's only 2 episodes so far, is The Righteous Gemstones on HBO. Oh my goodness. It is very funny. It's really funny and it's really well done. Like, it's very irreverent. It's not reverent. It's the kind of show that is so well crafted that I feel like I'm in very good hands. Like, I don't know where we're going, but I am in for the ride. I don't remember the last time I watched something and laughed that hard. Now, when it comes to books, something that I should have recommended last month because I actually read it in July, but forgot, was City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's great. It takes place in the 1940s around showgirls. It's very sexy. Maybe don't read it with your mom. It's really fun, and it feels like something that's kind of like frothy and frivolous, and then it goes someplace serious. So you get kind of like champagne and also then a hangover. But like the good lessons that come with that hangover. This metaphor failed me, but the book is delightful. And this month I read what might be my favorite book I've read in a long time, which is Circe by Madeline Miller. It's a feminist retelling of Greek myth. And that did not sound like a really interesting premise to me. I didn't really want to read a retelling of Greek myth that sounded so like reading the Odyssey in 9th grade that I just wasn't that excited about, but it kept getting these great reviews, and I bought it for myself for my birthday back in April, and then I just didn't really start it, and I kept reading like the first paragraph and then getting distracted, and finally I sat down and made myself really get into it, and it's stunning. It's incredibly beautifully written, just beautiful prose. The story is compelling. The things that I recognized because of the amount of Greek mythology that I already knew were fun. The parts that I didn't know didn't leave me out in the cold. And it is a really well told, great story. And actually, it was recently announced that I believe it's HBO is adapting it as a series. And I was a little nervous because it said series and not limited series, and while I think that this story is incredibly cinematic and will make great television, I'm a little concerned that they're not going to get to the end, because the end of this book was so good. I mean, just the kind of ending of a book where you're, oh, it was such a good ending. It was such a good ending. Also, if reading a new spin on Greek mythology doesn't sound that interesting to you, it's essentially a fantasy novel. That's actually what it is, because there's gods and monsters and magic and witches. So there you go. Speaking of gods and Greek myths, when it comes to things to listen to, the Hadestown musical Broadway cast recording came out, and it's wonderful. It's really interesting and unique. It's a show that I'm sure would be really different to see, but it's got that kind of buzz where people are saying it's the next Hamilton, which is kind of a silly thing to say because nothing's the next Hamilton and everything's its own thing, but it's shaking things up on Broadway, and it's a great soundtrack. So I do highly recommend that. And the thing that I cannot stop listening to, even though I'm outing myself as a big old musical theater nerd here, is Ben Platt's new album. Ben Platt originated the role of Evan Hansen in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway a couple seasons ago, and he has the most remarkable voice and just incredible control over that instrument. He's really incredibly gifted, and he's written this album, which is not musical theater, it's pop. And I love it so much, and I keep listening to it, and some of the songs actually just make me cry. They're so beautiful. So I highly recommend you check out Sing to Me instead. And finally, a web series recommendation. Shout out to my dear friend Daniel Vincent Gord, who you may know as Darcy from the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. I'm not even going to correct that. That's how I say that. And he has a sketch comedy show with his collaborator, Matt Wilkus, and Matt and Dan season 2 came out this month. It's on YouTube. There have been 3 of them so far. Very funny. Check it out and send Daniel some love from me. Those are my recommendations for August. Check back at the end of September to see what exciting treasures that month has brought to us. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to see more of me vlogging, check out my Patreon, where I do patron-only videos as well as other fun things. There's a link to that somewhere here as well as below. Let me know what you liked this month so that I can check out some cool stuff that you're watching and listening to and reading and dancing to. Mostly dancing. Bye.